Consider if the identical white substance you utilize for cleaning your kitchen sink or refreshing your refrigerator could potentially assist in restoring adequate blood circulation to your penis. This assertion is made with seriousness. For many thousands of males aged over 60, including numerous individuals under my professional care, a substance as uncomplicated as sodium bicarbonate has brought about a significant improvement in their circulation, their erectile function, and even their self-assurance in intimate situations. My professional identity is Dr. Moit Kara. I have dedicated more than 3 decades to treating elderly men for conditions that most find too embarrassing to discuss: inadequate blood flow, flaccid erections, diminished energy levels, and emotional exhaustion. I hold a position as a professor of urology and specialize in men's health. It is my conviction that the most effective remedies do not always originate from a pharmaceutical bottle. Occasionally, the solution is already present within your household kitchen. Now, there is a crucial piece of information that the majority of men are unaware of. Baking soda is not exclusively for cleaning purposes or relieving heartburn. When employed correctly, it possesses the capacity to support nitric oxide production, enhance oxygen levels in the blood, normalize your body's pH balance, and even optimize the function of your testosterone. All of these factors are crucial for achieving robust, enduring erections subsequent to the age of 60. Consequently, in this video presentation, I will guide you through 10 remarkable, scientifically supported methods by which baking soda can help older men recover their vitality and perform with renewed strength and self-possession. Furthermore, a little later, I will disclose a particular morning regimen that one of my patients implemented with astonishing outcomes. Prior to delving into the details, if you are a man over 60 who is interested in natural approaches to maintain strength, energy, and confidence, please proceed to press the subscribe button and activate the notification bell. You will not wish to miss out on additional scientifically validated tips specifically tailored for you. And if this particular subject resonates with you, please indicate by typing 1 in the comments section. If it does not, type 0. My constant aim is to refine and deliver content that genuinely provides assistance. Very well, let us commence with the initial surprising manner in which baking soda can contribute to stronger erections for men aged over 60. And it has everything to do with your blood's pH. Most men fail to comprehend this, but as your body naturally becomes overly acidic with advancing age, it subtly constricts your blood vessels and impedes the smooth flow necessary for a firm erection. This is precisely where baking soda becomes relevant. The first identified benefit is that it balances your blood pH, thereby improving circulation. Upon my initial encounter with Harold, he was 69 years old, recently retired, and clearly displayed frustration, not solely concerning his energy levels, but also about a matter he was initially reluctant to vocalize. After a pause, he finally confessed, "Doc, I simply do not feel like a man any longer. I attempt to become aroused, but nothing responds in the manner it once did." His blood test results were relatively within normal limits. His heart was functioning appropriately, but upon closer examination, I detected a subtle issue. His internal pH was excessively acidic. Now, the majority of men have never been informed of this. However, as individuals age, their body's pH level can gravitate towards an acidic state. And such a shift, even if minor, can exert powerful repercussions. It establishes an environment of low-level tension within your blood vessels. These vessels become more constricted, increasingly rigid, and less capable of facilitating the rapid, expansive blood flow required for a healthy, unprompted erection. Visualize this as attempting to irrigate your garden using a hose that is crimped. This is precisely where baking soda subtly excels as a natural alkalizing agent. It assists your body in gently restoring its internal pH equilibrium. When consumed in the appropriate manner, typically dissolved in water on an empty stomach, it can promote improved blood fluidity, aid in the relaxation of your arteries, and foster a vascular environment where oxygen and essential nutrients can once again circulate freely. What was the outcome for Harold? I initiated a gentle morning routine involving a small quantity of baking soda and lemon water. 3 weeks later, he entered my office with a smile and a noticeably lighter demeanor. "Something has changed," he stated. It is subtle, but I feel as though my body is re-energized. And his wife also observed the difference. This initial alteration, the rebalancing of your pH, might appear simplistic, but it establishes the fundamental basis for all other improvements. Blood that circulates more freely delivers increased oxygen, more nutrients, and greater vitality to the most crucial areas. And when that equilibrium is re-established, the positive effects can extend outward in ways that reach far beyond the realm of sexual intimacy. But what if I were to inform you that baking soda does more than merely enhance how blood traverses your body? It actively contributes to combating the imperceptible inflammation that has been internally impeding your performance for many years. Let us now examine the second benefit and consider why it might be even more significant than the initial one. Benefit number 2 concerns the reduction of inflammation within blood vessels. One of the most often misunderstood adversaries to a man's sexual performance after reaching 60 years of age is not a deficiency in testosterone, but rather inflammation. It operates slowly, silently, and persistently. I refer to it as the stealthy pilferer. It does not manifest dramatically. It does not create a commotion. However, over a period of time, it gradually erodes your blood vessels, diminishes your energy, impairs your sensitivity, and affects your erections. I recall working with Samuel, who was 71, possessed a strong voice and a proud demeanor, yet his eyes conveyed a different narrative. "Doctor," he expressed, "it seems as though my body is consistently working against me. Even when I desire intimacy with my wife, I simply no longer feel capable." When his laboratory tests were conducted, he was not diagnosed with diabetes. His cholesterol levels were managed, but his indicators of inflammation, such as CRP, were elevated. This provided our crucial insight. Here is a fact that most men do not comprehend. Chronic, low-grade inflammation causes the hardening of the inner lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium. This is the precise location where nitric oxide is intended to be produced, which is the signal instructing your penile tissue to relax and become engorged with blood. However, when inflammation predominates, this system becomes obstructed, blood flow is restricted, sensitivity decreases, and your body is simply unable to respond as it once did. This explains why baking soda can prove to be such a potent ally. In numerous scientific investigations, sodium bicarbonate has demonstrated its ability to stimulate anti-inflammatory pathways, specifically within the spleen and kidneys. It contributes to calming the overactive response of the immune system, particularly the response that targets your vascular system. And when inflammation subsides, blood vessels dilate, and nitric oxide flows. Erections once again become achievable, not through coercion but naturally. Samuel initiated a straightforward regimen. He took half a teaspoon of baking soda dissolved in water every morning, followed by a 15-minute walk. Within a single month, he reported not only more frequent morning erections but also increased energy and mental clarity throughout the day. "It feels like something internal has become unobstructed," he remarked. And that is precisely the sensation that reducing inflammation can evoke. Less pressure, greater ease. But here is the truly fascinating aspect. While inflammation presents a significant impediment, your body still needs the affirmative signal, the chemical impulse that actually initiates an erection. That crucial signal is nitric oxide. And remarkably, baking soda plays an unexpected role in aiding your body to generate an increased amount of it. Allow me to demonstrate how. In the subsequent benefit, this particular one could represent a pivotal change. Benefit number 3 involves supporting the natural production of nitric oxide. If you have ever pondered why things simply do not initiate as they once did, the explanation might pertain to a molecule that your body previously produced with ease but now struggles to generate: nitric oxide. Nitric oxide serves as the initial spark that sets everything in motion. It instructs your blood vessels to expand. It signals smooth muscles to relax, and most critically, it directs blood to surge into your penis at the appropriate moment. Without its presence, mental arousal may exist, but physically, nothing occurs. I recall a patient named Thomas. He was 66 years of age, relatively healthy, and maintained an active lifestyle. He was not experiencing depression, and his hormonal levels were in satisfactory condition. However, during our discussion, he articulated something that remained significant to me. "Doc, I desire intimacy. I still possess sexual desire, but I sense there is no longer any signal from my body. It's as though the switch simply isn't activating." That description precisely encapsulates the sensation of a nitric oxide deficiency. Your brain assents, your heart assents, but your blood vessels offer no response. Here is the positive news. Baking soda itself does not contain nitric oxide, yet it assists in cultivating the suitable internal environment for your body to naturally produce more of it. When your body becomes excessively acidic, nitric oxide degrades more rapidly. But baking soda helps alkalize your blood, protect the endothelial lining, and reduce oxidative stress, all of which factors preserve and enhance nitric oxide function. In one academic study, athletes who supplemented their diet with sodium bicarbonate observed improved vascular performance and endurance, partly attributed to their body's enhanced ability to utilize oxygen and generate nitric oxide under strenuous conditions. And what proves effective for endurance also applies to erectile function. Both necessitate rapid, expansive blood flow and responsive blood vessels. Thomas decided to try it. We began with a modest approach, incorporating baking soda with lemon water each morning and complementing it with breathing exercises to stimulate nitric oxide release. Several weeks later, he informed me, "I am experiencing morning erections, something I haven't witnessed in years." And more importantly, he felt that his body was finally responding again in a natural manner. However, nitric oxide represents merely one component of the entire process. Once blood reaches the appropriate locations, it still requires the efficient and rapid delivery of oxygen to your tissues. Should this delivery system be sluggish, your performance will likewise be impaired. Fortunately, baking soda can also provide assistance in this regard. Allow me to elucidate why in the subsequent benefit. Benefit number 4 involves enhancing the delivery of oxygen to erectile tissue. One of the most frequently overlooked aspects concerning robust erections is a topic seldom discussed after the age of 60. Oxygen. This refers not merely to general oxygen levels within your body, but specifically to the precise, targeted oxygen delivered directly to the blood vessels and tissues located inside your penis. Without an adequate supply of oxygen, even if blood does reach the area, your tissue cannot fully expand or respond. The consequence is weak, fleeting, or entirely absent erections. I recall a consultation with Richard, aged 72, a retired fire chief who consistently took pride in being strong, dependable, perceptive, and in command. Yet now his words carried significant weight. "Doc," he stated, "I just feel as though I am running out of fuel down there. Everything is slower, heavier, duller." His laboratory tests indicated favorable cardiovascular markers, but one particular value was prominent. His oxygen saturation was at the lower end of the spectrum, and this was not an uncommon finding. As we age, and particularly if acidity or inflammation is present, our red blood cells simply do not transport oxygen as efficiently as they once did. This is where baking soda assumes a subtle yet critical role. It does more than just mitigate acidity. It actually aids in optimizing how your hemoglobin releases oxygen to your tissues. When your blood possesses a more alkaline pH, hemoglobin can transport and unload oxygen more effectively. And that translates to an increased amount of oxygen reaching the penile tissue when arousal commences, thereby supporting firmer, more sustained erections. Richard initiated a morning ritual, consuming a small glass of water containing half a teaspoon of baking soda, taken slowly before breakfast. Within a few weeks, he observed not only an improvement in his overall energy. He specifically noted enhanced sensation during intimacy. "It felt warmer," he described, "as if things were flowing again just as they should." That warmth, he characterized, is the tangible effect of genuine oxygenation at work. When oxygen finally reaches its intended destination, your body experiences renewed vitality, alertness, responsiveness, and capability. However, oxygen is not exclusively vital for arousal. It also serves as fuel for the minuscule muscles within your penis that are responsible for trapping and retaining blood during an erection. And if these muscles are fatigued or sluggish, performance will be compromised, even in the presence of adequate blood flow. This leads us to the next benefit, one that directly addresses your body's concealed energy system and how baking soda can naturally revitalize it. Benefit number 5 focuses on boosting mitochondrial energy within smooth muscle cells. Most of the men I work with have never been aware of the smooth muscle cells located inside their penis. However, these unacknowledged components are absolutely essential for achieving strong, enduring erections. They do not merely facilitate blood entry into the penis. They assist in capturing it, holding it, and sustaining the erection for a sufficient duration to allow for complete intimacy. And at the core of their operational capacity lies a single factor: energy. I recall my patient Gerald, who was 68 years old, a retired mechanic, and as astute as ever. But during our initial consultation, he lowered his gaze and quietly stated, "It's not just that I cannot achieve an erection as firmly as before. It's as though the entire system disengages midway through. I feel as if I simply run out of fuel." That particular image resonated with me. And when I explained how the energy-generating mechanisms within his smooth muscle cells, specifically the mitochondria, were likely experiencing a deceleration, everything began to make sense to him. You see, mitochondria function as the power generators of your cells. They assimilate fuel and produce usable energy. However, as individuals age, particularly under conditions of persistent acidity or oxidative stress, those mitochondria do not operate with optimal efficiency. And when they encounter difficulties, your erections likewise suffer. The penis is simply unable to retain blood because the smooth muscle cannot generate the necessary strength. This is where baking soda provides a subtle but potent enhancement by reducing the accumulation of lactic acid and fostering a more alkaline environment within the body. Baking soda assists mitochondria in performing more effectively. It establishes the internal equilibrium required for these minute energy factories to function with greater efficiency, especially within the smooth muscle tissue of the penis. Gerald commenced taking baking soda 3 times per week, in conjunction with light morning stretching exercises and deep breathing techniques. Within a month, he uttered something I will never forget. "It feels as though the engine is starting up again. Not perfectly, but alive." That is precisely the sensation associated with mitochondrial revitalization. It brings a quiet, consistent, and profoundly energizing sensation. And here lies the intriguing aspect. Your mitochondria are not the sole component of your physiological system affected by acidity. Your hormones, particularly testosterone, are also influenced by your body's internal conditions. Therefore, next, let us investigate how baking soda not only augments energy but also genuinely assists your body in responding more effectively to testosterone. Benefit number 6 involves enhancing testosterone receptor sensitivity. It is a common and vexing complaint I frequently hear from men. "Doc, my testosterone levels appear satisfactory, yet I continue to feel fatigued, unmotivated, and nothing is happening in the bedroom." And they are not mistaken. Their levels are often within the normal range. However, what I subsequently explain typically surprises them. Testosterone itself constitutes only a portion of the complete picture. The other component, frequently overlooked, pertains to whether your body is actually capable of utilizing the testosterone it possesses. This is contingent upon a phenomenon termed receptor sensitivity. In simpler terms, it refers to how effectively your cells perceive and react to hormonal signals. I will always remember Martin, 64 years of age, a retired police officer. He possessed a strong physique and a clear intellect, but his eyes conveyed a sense of defeat. "They informed me I had adequate testosterone, doc," he stated. "So why do I still feel dispirited?" We conducted further tests and sure enough, his levels were respectable, but there was a significant implication. Years of inflammation and internal acidity can desensitize your hormone receptors, rendering them sluggish, even unresponsive. It is akin to shouting through a barrier. The message is present, but it fails to penetrate. This is precisely where baking soda can offer assistance in a manner most men would never anticipate. By gently mitigating acidity and reducing inflammation, it improves the internal environment in which your hormones function. It does not directly elevate testosterone levels, but it eliminates interference. It enables your receptors to operate with greater efficiency, allowing the testosterone you already have to bind, activate, and fulfill its intended purpose. Martin initiated a routine. Small quantities of baking soda dissolved in water a few mornings each week, in addition to engaging in some light resistance training. Approximately 6 weeks later, he entered smiling. "My drive is returning," he proclaimed. "Not just in the bedroom, but in all aspects of my life. It is as if something has reactivated." That activation was not due to an increase in testosterone. It stemmed from his body finally responding to it. Thus, indeed, baking soda contributes to erectile function, not merely by facilitating blood flow, but also by optimizing the hormonal pathways that stimulate desire, motivation, and physical strength. Nevertheless, even with hormonally balanced states, your body's performance is contingent upon factors beyond just testosterone. Your vital organs, particularly your liver and kidneys, exert a significant influence on detoxification processes, hormone conversion, and blood circulation. What baking soda accomplishes for these organs might astonish you. Let us investigate further. Benefit number 7 entails gently detoxifying the liver and kidneys. One of the most frequently overlooked reasons why men begin to lose their physical, sexual, and emotional edge after the age of 60 is something we seldom associate with performance: toxic burden. Over time, your body accumulates a buildup of chemical substances, waste byproducts, and even aged hormones that no longer serve a beneficial purpose. And 2 principal organs are responsible for this internal cleansing: your liver and kidneys. When these organs are overtaxed or function sluggishly, all bodily processes slow down. Blood becomes denser, hormones become unbalanced, circulation weakens, and even your mood and mental clarity begin to diminish. I have witnessed this repeatedly in men who outwardly appear healthy but internally feel entirely constrained. There is one patient I frequently recall, Carlos, aged 70, a retired accountant, who maintained a clean diet and had never smoked. Yet, he informed me he felt toxic, as if something was profoundly amiss internally. His blood pressure had gradually increased. His libido had declined. His energy was diminished. We examined his laboratory results: slightly elevated uric acid, mild kidney stress, and indicators of a sluggish liver. Nothing critically alarming, but sufficient to account for the way he felt. This is where baking soda subtly intervenes. It aids in reducing the acid load on your kidneys and promotes a healthier pH level in your urine, thereby simplifying the filtration process. For the liver, it fosters improved bile flow and supports detoxification by mitigating inflammation and alleviating the burden of metabolic waste. Its action is gentle, not aggressive, making it ideal for older men who need a little extra support without overburdening their physiological system. Carlos commenced using a small dosage of baking soda every other morning, combined with adequate hydration and a warm lemon water routine. 3 weeks subsequent, he reported something straightforward yet profound. "My body feels lighter," he stated, "as though I am not carrying as much." And his intimacy, gradually but perceptibly, began to return. When the internal organs responsible for processing your hormones and blood function more effectively, every other system starts to respond positively. And now, let us advance this concept further. You have heard me discuss performance and physiological flow, but what if I were to tell you that baking soda could actually assist in reducing the intense cravings and the persistent abdominal fat that surreptitiously diminish testosterone and render erections more challenging to achieve? What follows might astonish you even more. Benefit number 8 involves reducing sugar cravings and supporting weight loss. If you are a man beyond 60 years of age, you have likely observed this phenomenon. The excess weight around your abdominal area appears to adhere more stubbornly than it previously did, even if your dietary habits are better than ever before. And those intermittent desires for sweet foods or carbohydrates, they can manifest unexpectedly at night, after supper, or immediately prior to bedtime, and they feel more difficult to resist than they were when you were younger. I remember Jack, a 66-year-old former high school football coach. He entered my office, patted his stomach and declared, "This thing right here, it's destroying my life. I cannot eliminate it, and I am convinced it is debilitating my sexual drive." Jack had already attempted caloric restriction, consuming more green vegetables, and even walking daily. But the cravings, the diminished energy, and the decline in sexual performance persisted. What many men are unaware of is that abdominal fat is not merely an issue of storage. It possesses a hormonal dimension. That obstinate belly fat produces aromatase, an enzyme that facilitates the conversion of testosterone into estrogen. Consequently, the greater the amount of belly fat you carry, the more testosterone you forfeit. And when your hormonal balance is disrupted, everything from sexual desire to circulation to overall performance begins to wane. This is where baking soda assumes a more unexpected role. By contributing to the balance of your body's pH, it may help stabilize blood sugar levels throughout the entire day. That, in turn, can mitigate those intense cravings for sugar that undermine your progress. And when you are not experiencing the fluctuations of the blood sugar roller coaster, your body can commence shifting back into a fat-burning metabolic state, particularly around the midsection. Jack incorporated a simple daily practice: baking soda and lemon water first thing in the morning, followed by protein consumption and light physical activity. Within 4 weeks, the intense cravings had diminished, his abdominal area began to shrink, and perhaps most crucially, his self-confidence started to return. "I no longer feel a lack of control," he stated. "And when I observe myself in the mirror, I do not perceive a man surrendering." The outcome was less sugar consumption, reduced fat, improved hormonal balance, and a greater opportunity for the life one deserves. However, there remains one component of the complex issue that we have not yet discussed, and it is the aspect most men completely disregard. What if the underlying reason for your difficulties in the bedroom is not solely physical, but rather neurological? What if your nervous system is transmitting inappropriate signals at inopportune moments, and baking soda possesses the ability to help reset it? Let us delve deeper. Benefit number 9 involves assisting in calming the nervous system. There exists an aspect of male performance that does not receive adequate attention, and it is neither blood flow nor testosterone. It is your nervous system. If your brain and neural pathways are not appropriately synchronized with the present moment, even the healthiest physique can cease to function. I have witnessed this repeatedly. Men who desire intimacy experience the urge, but when the opportune time arrives, their bodies fail to follow through. And more often than not, the underlying issue is not physical, but neurological. I recall Tom, a 70-year-old retired military veteran, who possessed a strong posture and clear eyes, but his voice lowered when we reached the true reason for his visit. "I still deeply care for my wife," he explained, "but whenever we approach intimacy, I experience panic. My body simply becomes unresponsive." I could discern that this was not related to hormones or cardiac health. This pertained to a nervous system that was trapped in a state of heightened alertness, locked in a fight-or-flight response mode. Here is something many men are unaware of. As we age, the equilibrium between our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems can undergo a shift. Stress, traumatic experiences, inflammation, and even inadequate sleep can maintain your body in a state of tension. And when this occurs, your brain literally impedes blood flow to your penis. It is a survival mechanism that actively works against the possibility of intimacy. Baking soda might appear to be an unusual remedy, yet the scientific evidence is accumulating. By mitigating systemic acidity and inflammation, it helps your parasympathetic, or rest and relax, nervous system in taking precedence. It generates the specific type of calm your body requires to feel secure, open, and responsive. Some investigations even propose that the kidneys and spleen, when adequately supported by bicarbonate, transmit fewer stress-related signals to the brain. Tom initiated the use of baking soda only a few times per week, integrating it with specific breathing exercises I had instructed him to perform. And within a span of merely a few weeks, the transformation was profound. It's as though my body finally feels sufficiently secure to re-establish connection, he affirmed. And for him, this altered everything, impacting not just his physical state but also his emotional well-being. When your body experiences a state of calm, it permits all other systems to become fully operational. You engage more deeply. You respond more instinctively. You recover the intrinsic rhythm upon which optimal performance relies. But what if it were possible to take all the aspects we have discussed, blood flow, hormones, oxygen, energy, and a sense of calm, and intensify them even further by combining baking soda with a single, straightforward natural ingredient? This is precisely what will be revealed in the concluding benefit. And take my word for it, you will not want to overlook this information. Benefit number 10 pertains to its powerful combination with lemon or apple cider vinegar. After covering comprehensive details regarding blood flow, oxygen, nitric oxide, energy, hormone sensitivity, and even the calming of the nervous system, there remains one final piece of information I wish to impart to you. It is a minor natural combination that I have observed creating a remarkable impact in men over the age of 60, and it is likely something you already possess in your kitchen: lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. Now, individually, both lemon and ACV are extraordinary. They are abundant in antioxidants, support digestive health, and contribute to regulating blood sugar levels. However, when combined with baking soda, a unique phenomenon occurs. They generate a natural reaction that produces a gentle effervescence within the body, stimulating the flow of bile, reducing systemic acidity, and supporting both liver function and vascular tone. More significantly, they enable baking soda to function even more effectively, assisting it in reaching the appropriate tissues without overwhelming the body. I will never forget Barry, aged 74, who had been a widower for 5 years. He was beginning to explore intimacy once more, but expressed feeling rusted shut. We had discussed the conventional approaches, such as exercise, diet, and circulation, but something was still missing. Therefore, I suggested he initiate his mornings with a simple ritual: 1 glass of warm water, a squeeze of lemon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, slowly consumed on an empty stomach. Approximately 1 month later, he arrived beaming with joy. I did not anticipate much, he declared, but I awaken feeling more invigorated. My digestive system feels lighter, my mind is clearer, and I am responsive again, if you comprehend my meaning. That specific combination, baking soda with either lemon or apple cider vinegar, does not compel any outcome. Instead, it provides support to the entire physiological system, including your gut, your blood vessels, your nerves, and your hormones. It aids in restoring the body to a state of balance so that it can function precisely as it was inherently designed to. And that is the essential point. Genuine, enduring transformation does not originate from a single pharmaceutical pill or a singular miraculous remedy. It stems from re-establishing equilibrium, from equipping your body with the necessary instruments to naturally heal and respond. Baking soda, particularly when appropriately combined with suitable ingredients, constitutes one of those valuable instruments. Now that you have reviewed all 10 benefits, you might be contemplating how to actually implement baking soda safely, consistently, and in a manner that seamlessly integrates into your daily routine. That is precisely what I will guide you through in the concluding segment of this video presentation. Let us summarize everything, and I will demonstrate the exact procedure for getting started. Conclusion. If you have persevered to this point, I wish to express my gratitude, not merely for your attentive listening, but for your sufficient dedication to your health, your future, and your masculinity to maintain an inquisitive mindset. Because that is the true essence of this endeavor. Curiosity, resilience, and the willingness to reclaim control over your physical being, even after reaching 60 years of age. We have explored a considerable amount of information today. We discussed 10 distinct and potent ways in which something as straightforward and often overlooked as baking soda can contribute to stronger, healthier erections, without requiring medication, without producing adverse effects, and without incurring any sense of embarrassment. We began by detailing how baking soda assists in balancing your blood pH, thereby establishing the optimal environment for smoother circulation and an enhanced vascular response. This is where the foundational work is established. Subsequently, We addressed the reduction of inflammation within your blood vessels, effectively eliminating one of the most insidious and detrimental impediments to male performance. Next, we revealed how it supports your body's innate production of nitric oxide, that crucial chemical signal that instructs your blood vessels to dilate when arousal commences. However, even if nitric oxide flows, your body still necessitates oxygen. And we observed how baking soda improves the efficiency with which your red blood cells deliver oxygen to the tissues that need it most. From that point, our discussion delved deeper to the fundamental cellular level. We examined the smooth muscle cells located within your penis and how baking soda assists those cells in generating an increased amount of mitochondrial energy, thereby enabling them to retain and sustain blood more effectively. Subsequently, we investigated how baking soda enhances the sensitivity of testosterone receptors, helping your body respond to the hormones it already possesses instead of feeling as though you are operating on empty. We extended our scope beyond hormones as well, considering how baking soda contributes to the detoxification process carried out by the liver and kidneys, which are organs that subtly support every system within your body, including sexual function. And then we addressed a matter with which many men quietly contend: stubborn abdominal fat, intense sugar cravings, and the hormonal disruption that accompanies them. A balanced pH level contributes to restoring control, mitigating those cravings, and directing your metabolism towards a beneficial trajectory. Next, we explored the nervous system, that profoundly personal and emotional dimension of health that can impede performance even when all other physical aspects appear satisfactory. Baking soda, by alleviating internal inflammation and easing neural tension, helps your body achieve a sufficient state of relaxation to connect both physically and emotionally. And finally, we synthesized all these elements with a natural, straightforward combination: baking soda with either lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. This morning ritual has been instrumental in helping countless men reawaken their vitality, support their digestion, regulate their body's chemical balance, and feel present again in both body and mind. Now, I wish to communicate with you directly, not in my capacity as a medical doctor, but as an individual who has devoted decades to listening to other men during some of their most vulnerable moments. If you have been experiencing difficulties, if you have felt frustrated, embarrassed, or even ashamed, I want you to understand that hope exists. You are not inherently defective. Your body may simply require support, time, and a few minor adjustments to return to a state of equilibrium. Baking soda will not resolve every issue instantaneously or overnight. However, when utilized judiciously, it can serve as a foundational starting point, a subtle impetus in the correct direction, a means to provide your body with the optimal environment it requires to heal and respond once more. Complement its use with adequate sleep, profound breathing exercises, light physical movement, and a degree of confidence in your body's intrinsic capacity for recovery. Because the fundamental reality is, even after surpassing 60 years of age, you continue to possess the capacity for strength, for passionate experiences, and for profound connection. You are worthy of that. And it is never too late to initiate this process. If you have discovered value within this information, I strongly advise you to consult with your physician, to approach its application gently, and to observe how your body reacts. And as is my ongoing commitment, I will remain present with you, providing additional genuine, candid counsel to assist you in living with greater strength, for a longer duration, and with enhanced well-being. If this video presentation has furnished you with new insights, a measure of hope, or even simply made you feel acknowledged, then I encourage you to undertake a simple yet potent action. Provide it with a like. Not exclusively for my benefit, but so that a greater number of men, individuals precisely like yourself, can access this information. The more engagement this video garners, the more it will be disseminated to those who may currently be silently contending with similar struggles, seeking answers yet too apprehensive to inquire. Please submit a comment below. Even if it is merely to indicate 1, if this resonated, or 0, if it didn't connect with it. I meticulously review every single comment. This endeavor extends beyond the mere dissemination of knowledge. It is about cultivating an environment where men over 60 can communicate openly, receive support, and feel empowered to take their health seriously. If you know someone, a sibling, a companion, a neighbor, who might derive benefit from this, I urge you to share it with them. You could be the catalyst for them finally taking that initial step. And if you subscribe to the value of this genre of content, natural, scientifically grounded, and specifically crafted for older men, please consider contributing to the channel's support. Whether through a modest monetary contribution, becoming a channel member, or simply spreading the word, every bit helps us keep this message alive and growing. You hold significance. Your health holds significance, and I am honored to be a guiding voice in your personal journey. Thank you for your viewership. Remain strong, remain curious, and I anticipate seeing you in the subsequent presentation.